What is up, everybody? We are back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to this episode of Stop Waiting for the Perfect Moment to Start by Hamozy.
Are waiting for this
And of course, it's probably going to be a good one, as it always is. So let's always continue.
moment. But it doesn't come, right? It happens the moment you decide that you're fed up with waiting and decide to take action. And it only becomes the perfect moment when you look back on it, because today it just looks like now. I had a conversation.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Today is only the best time to start now. Because if you wait moment by moment, that moment will pass, and that time frame will be way different than other people, than what they envision that moment to be, because this moment will pass, and this is the only moment is now, which is why doing it now, doing the hard work, doing the discipline work, being the version of yourself that you want to be, only you can know where this moment will lead to. You may never know where this moment will end or last. Which is why I stopped waiting for the perfect moment to start and just start doing the work now by taking action.
With a young man yesterday who said, listen, I have demons. And I was like, bro, you don't have fucking demons. I was like, shut up. And he was like, the thing is this, and I was so visceral with my reaction because I used to say that kind of stuff because I thought it made me hard. I thought it made me complex. I thought it made me mysterious. But you don't have demons. You're not self-sabotaging. You don't have mom or dad issues. You have is a lack of skills in how to behave in a certain condition. So when you say you have demons, what it really means, if I say, okay, what do you mean by that? Define that. Define having demons, right? Most people say that they don't mean they actually think they have spiritual demons inside of them. I'm not even going to touch that. What they really mean is that under these conditions, I behave a way that is not ideal. And so what that means is you have a skill deficiency. No shit. You're inexperienced. Of course you have a skill deficiency. You don't have demons. You don't know how to be consistent. You don't have, I just can't stay.
What? Yeah.
For a long time. No, it either means you have really high standards, which is fine, and you haven't met that person yet, or you just don't know how to behave consistently. It's like when I have a sales guy who's like, hey, I'm 30 days into this role and I'm getting kind of bored taking sales calls. I'm like, oh, your ability to not be able to continue after something gets boring and learn to love the incremental improvements, the 100 or 1,000 repetitions, is the skill discrepancy that you need to overcome. The best salespeople, bad salespeople try and have a couple good days. Good salespeople get on hot streaks. Great salespeople never get cold. And so that takes discipline to understand how to consistently get yourself hot, how to consistently treat every sale the same way you do when you're on fire. Because there is no being on fire. It means you simply behave differently. It's not like you have magic. You pause differently. You take longer spaces. You ask the question. Your tonality shifts. And those are skills because you can learn them. And so this whole thing of like, this is this young man, I'm traumatized. First off, you don't even know a fucking definition of trauma, all right? Trauma is a permanent change in behavior from an aversive stimulus, meaning something bad happens and forever it changes how you act. Now,
A lot of people think trauma is not an issue, but it's not about the trauma. It's about how you reflect and react onto your life and how you can impact your life now. Because if you don't impact it, nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever be different than what it truly is. Without this experience of this motion that you are going through, nothing will get better. Nothing will truly change in your eyes, but in your eyes is different than what other people see. Only you see the goals and the work, versus others, they don't even see the checkpoints. They just see the work, and they treat it like everything else. I'll be right back. Hi. What do you have to do? I'm okay. Thank you though.
if we understand that as the definition of trauma, is trauma bad? Well, if I touch a stove and then I never touch a stove again when it's hot, is that trauma bad? It permanently changed my behavior from an aversive stimulus. Is that trauma bad? Well, it prevented me from burning the house down, from permanently damaging my hand in the future. No, I would say it was good. And so this whole
spiel, this whole definition, this whole thing is skewed into your own perspective.
Appraisal of your past being tough, or you don't understand, bro. No, and no one cares either. They don't understand, nor do they.
Yeah, nobody really gives a fuck, and nobody really truly cares about it that much. People will move on, move past it, and just say, yeah, nobody really cared in the first place, so why am I continually on doing this so-called thing? Nobody really did care, so why do you keep on trying to gain the approval or gain the criticism of whatever it is you're truly doing? Because you may never know what that next move will be. Welcome. We are at 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and it has been a staggering 10-minute long video. So you guys know when shit gets real, when it takes 7 minutes of my time, and I waste a lot of yours. So as always, let's stay positive, and let's stay ourselves, and let's continue with this video.
Do they care? And so all anyone is going to care about is how you act, how you behave, what you do.
How you act, what you do, what you are with what the time you have now. He didn't have to state that any more clearly than what it was already been stated as, is how you act about what you do and what you say on how you act upon what you do. I don't think I need to make it any more belligerent than just saying those things, because 1, how you act. 2, what you say. 3, how you respond to everything that is set up to this point. Those 3 core pillars. Yeah, I know I do my 3s weird. Why should I go like this or this? Nah, it just looks weird. You gotta do this. 4, 4, 5. Like, who really cares? Because I don't care, you don't care, so why am I continuing with this conversation? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Half the shit, I don't even know what the fuck I even say. Or even know what the fuck I mean. Which, I mean, nothing but good vibes. Let's continue.
Based on a series of conditions. And so you just need to expose yourself to the conditions so that you can get the repetition, so that you can learn how to overcome it.
So you can learn to overcome the repetitions, as already been said, stated, understood. Because without those things, you may never know where this life will lead you to. You may never know where these uncharted dreams, uncharted goals, uncharted beliefs, you may never know where this life will lead you to. It can lower you down way lower than what you truly thought it could be, or you could just are looking for answers that are waiting to be unread or unspoken about those things. Let's continue.
Determines whether it's good or bad is whether it creates a behavior that's conducive to your goals.
If it's not conducive to your goals, if it's not leading you to a path where you want to be or believe or understand, you may never know where this path will lead you to. You may never know where this understanding will bring you to. You may never know what point this thought process will bring you to. You may never know until you are truly afraid. And once you truly bring fear and see fear within your eyes, you may never know what fear blinds you. You may never know what that next step will be. You may never know when this next step will be. Oh, I got a visitor. I got my doggo. She comes over here. Come here. Babies. Babies. I guess she's photogenic right now. Oh no, here she is. Yeah, I couldn't get the full version of her.
And so that means that fundamentally you can have a stimulus like touching the stove that creates a behavior that is conducive to the goal. In that way, trauma was good. So, by the way, parents, when you punish a child, the hope is that you traumatize them, is that you permanently change their behavior from an aversive stimulus. It's just that people don't define words and they just shout them all over the place. Say it's stored in your body, it's energy. It's like no one even knows what the fuck that means. Show me on someone's body where it's stored. Give me an x-ray. Show me where this, no, come on. Like you're saying you're storing your emotional trauma from your father in your liver. Like I can just say words and make things up and get people to nod if I say them with conviction. It doesn't make it's true. And so you may have been fooled because sometimes it's more convenient to say you can cast your power onto this thing that happened that was outside of your control as the reason why you can't be successful, because it's easier to say that than to say that I chose not to do anything about it anyways. And again, listen, you can do whatever you want. You can just keep wallowing in that. You can keep saying that that's the reason. And wherever you point is where your power is, right? But the only time that you have more power is if you say it's on you, period. Because all of those things may have happened and they may have all been terrible. And what are you going to do about it, right? Because the only, no one cares. Like the world doesn't care. You care, which is fine. But like no one else does. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start doing something about it. And so, also, think about this, it's the equal opposite. If trauma can create good things, then it also means that good things can create bad behaviors. And so, if you win the lottery and then you have all these behaviors that happen afterwards that are negative, then was it good for you? Like we talk about these rich and privileged kids because it creates behaviors that actually make it less likely that they achieve things later. And so, just think about what occurred and what behaviors you take as a result, and separate good or bad from it, and just think, does it make it more likely that I hit my goals? It makes life a lot easier, and then it stops you from speaking in voodoo and speaking and appealing to mysticism and magic. Like there's this force around demons. It's like, dude, no. Like you had a girl who cheated on you. Okay. Now, what does that change about your behavior? I have trust issues. No, it just means that under these conditions, you are slower to give someone access to your bank account or slower to move in with someone, comma, who cares? And is that a bad thing? And so I'll walk you through a 3-step framework that has been unbelievably valuable to me. And this is from Dr. Kashey. Logic, evidence, utility. Logic is, what does that mean? So you have demons. Okay, what does that mean? Define it in terms of behavior. What does that mean? Okay, got it. Now, how do you know that? Evidence. So you say, I have demons. We unpack that, and it means that for you self-sabotage, which again, define that. Okay, it means that I show up late to meetings after I get into a job after 2 months of being on time. Okay, so after 2 months of being on time, you start being late to stuff. That we translated from I have demons to I self-sabotage to that is the behavior that occurs. Got it. Now, I would say, how do you know that? Now, a lot of times people are like, well, it's happened. But when you actually look at it, you're like, it happened 3 times over in my last job. Okay, is it really a problem as you define it, or it happened in those 3 occurrences? Okay, got it. So now you know. Now, most times people are like, I don't have any data. And you're like, okay, so then this is basically made up. And when I say made up, I'm not saying it's like you are a liar. I'm just saying.
He really had a woman out of his ass. Oh my God, how was it? I can't with you right now. I seriously can't with you. He's talking about made up bullshit, which was never made up to begin with. He's just saying that just because he wants to get a reaction out of the viewer. Because whatever your dreams are made up, they're truly made up of just hocus pocus bullshit and dreams that don't even fucking matter at the same time. Which you may never know where those dreams can lead you to. You may never know where that understanding will bring you to. You may never know what that perspective will bring. Because you might feel like you are nowhere where you are truly trying to be. But as always, let's continue.
Humans work in narratives, and a lot of times we add narratives, stories, to things that don't actually mean anything. But it's convenient, and it's fun, and we like talking about it. But it doesn't mean it's true. And so then you move to the third one, which is, and so what? Utility. Who cares? Why does this matter? And so,
why does this fucking thing matter? What purpose is it giving you? What drive? What fuel? What energy? What persistent realization that you are trying to build off of this so-called one thing? Whatever it is, it's meant to be doing something for you. If not, then why would people do shit for you? But as always, let's continue.
Then you say, okay, well, this matters because it decreases the likelihood that I will be able to retain future employment.
It decreases the likelihood of future employment. Whatever you are trying to employ, or tell, or say, or act upon, that is your constraint. Visualize your constraint, and whatever session you have to do now, get it done now. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your field of vision, your field of versatility. Because when something is versatile, something becomes harder to obtain.
Then, what do we do about it? And so you can walk through things that you have struggled with in the past with simply saying, let me define.
Primal. Primal details. That's what I'm missing.
Who cares?
Who cares? Nobody fucking cares. That's what we say in our alcohol compliancy class, is that nobody fucking cares. So why the fuck do you care so much? Why do you try so much? Why do you do so much? Why do you act on so much bullshit energy that is just wasted on doing nothing? If you're not gonna do nothing, what is the point in doing something? What's the point in believing that you are trying to believe? Or act upon whatever way you're trying. That came out weird. Whatever way you're trying to act upon. You either react, act, or understand that the first rule of business is that nobody fucking cares. Yeah, good job, you made $10,000 in one day. Good fucking job. Do you want a piece of the paper or a piece of cookie? Because you don't get a star. You get a gold medal. In your own standards, of course. Because if I make $10,000 in one day, that's game over. I'm setting myself up for success. You know what I mean? But as always, let's continue.
I have demons in the kitchen, all right, just as a completely ridiculous example. Okay, well, in my past, I
have demons in my kitchen. Oh my god, what the fuck? I was not expecting that. Hands down, I was not fucking expecting that bullshit. What the fuck? Okay, that's some utterly bullshit right there. Some utterly putterly bullshit right there.
Okay, now, this is good or bad. When you say who cares, it's in relation to what? My goals. Does you not going into the kitchen prevent you from achieving your goals? Well, if you want to be a chef, yes. If you want to be an entrepreneur, no. If you want to be a kitchen entrepreneur, probably, right? And so the question is just, who cares? Why does it matter? And so much of our time and effort goes into explaining things to people that don't matter at all, that you could literally just move on from and just literally forget about. You could get over.
You can get over this struggle, this hard point in your life, because you know that you are struggling. And you know that you are trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But at the same time, you are also afraid of the truth that is speaking in front of your eyes. You're afraid of that ghost. You're afraid of that entrepreneurship. You're afraid of that business idea. You're afraid of that thing that you are trying to make a reality. I would love to make YouTube my full-time job. I would love to. But the only way I can do it is by posting a lot more times, and by posting a lot more times on my school will only make that reality come true into the light at the end of the tunnel. So, let's continue.
Quote trauma by changing the behavior that it changed aversively. So in this context or in this condition, I behave this way and it's not conducive to my goals. Great, that's good that you've identified it. Cool, so what do we need to do so that when you're in the condition, how can we increase the likelihood that you do act the way that you want to? And then you start stacking the deck to start shifting the pendulum in your favor. And you start attacking each of these little problems from skills that you have, whether it's behavior with people, or it's skills at work, or with a relationship, and you just do it one by one by one. And if you do it over a very long period of time, you get better. I promise you, and I'm saying this as somebody who, I struggled with my demons. You don't understand, bro, like I have stuff. Like, okay.
Good for you, you have your shit. Now, do you have your shit figured out is my real question. Do you know where your life is going to lead? Nobody knows until their life shit hits the fan, or shit really goes south, or shit really goes up to the north. You never know until shit really truly happens. When shit happens, shit truly fucking happens. I don't know how to make it less versatile and more inclusive.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you can't take a vacation without spending half your time on your laptop, or delegating feels super risky because no one else kind of...
But it doesn't help you. And it also doesn't make you look harder. It just makes you less capable. Losers talk about what happened to them. Winners talk about what they made happen despite it.
Losers talk about what happened to them. Winners decide what will make it happen. What will truly push your limits past your boundary. Push your limits past your cycle. Push your limits past your being. Because without us being here, without me talking and telling you the truth and brutally forced truth, you may never know where your next being could live. this next reality, this next truth, this next ownership. You may never know until you truly are afraid. And once you are afraid, the dogs will bite. And when the dogs bite, they come out to play.
Hardship is a reality for losers. To winners, hardship is just your origin story. And like, I promise you, if you can use this frame, like I was texting Layla the other day, like the bigger the monster, the more epic the hero. It's the story that you're gonna someday tell. When you're 85, you're not gonna want more boring stories, right? The idea is that if you're going through hardship now, that's the story that you're gonna tell. And if you believe yourself to be the hero that you want to someday become, then the harder it is, you're like, bring it, this is my story. This is the Spider-Man getting bitten. This is him getting beat up by the bullies. This is the origin story. No one cares about a hero who never had it hard. I bought a lottery ticket years and years and years ago when I was in college, because it was like a billion or something like that back then. That was when $1 billion meant something. But I was in college, and my girlfriend at the time, I was talking to her, and the drawing was that night. We bought them for fun. We bought one ticket. I wasn't expecting to win, but it was just basically I was buying it for the conversation. And I thought about it as like the drawing got closer, and I realized I had this big pang of anxiety, because I was like, what if I win? And I had this moment of terror, because I realized that if I won, that I would never be able to achieve anything that anyone thought was my own. And that thought terrified me. And thankfully, I didn't win the $1 billion. And I got to make the life that I have. And so I think Epictetus says this, but it's something to the degree of what a shame it would be for someone to never encounter hardship, because they would never be able to see who they are. And so I think that if you have gone through hardship, or you are going through hardship, this is the opportunity to prove to yourself, not anyone else, that you are who you say you are. And you are made of what you say you are made of. And you can choose to allow that hardship to make you harder, to make you...
Allow that struggle, allow that hardship, allow that difficulty to build you, mold you, and shape you. Or you can allow it to break you, dementralize you, and then you die a horrible, horrific death, and then you don't want to succeed. See, the way I look at life, we have 4,200 weeks. 4,200. That is all that what we are. That is 80.5 years. 80.5 years. That is all that what we are. And if all that what you are is just a mere coincidence of you trying to live your life on this planet, then be my guest. Because I will see you down the path. Not following the orders of other people that bark down my neck, that don't tell me what to do. Because at the same time, I don't give a fuck about what the fuck they think about Misa. Because Yusa is a dumb little prick that doesn't know how to live their fucking life. Life in all of its futile, dysfunctioning bullshit. Pardon my language. Before I pardon your pussy right now, you piece of looking shit.
Resilient, to make you more persistent, to make you more relentless, to make you more...
Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.